that there are three types of bleeding. Either if it is from the capillary it is easy. Just you'll see that there is some oozing of blood. Just in this case, you will clean the wound and cover it. So it is the easier one. There might be some heavy bleeding. It might be from the soft tissue, from the vein. In this case, there will be heavy oozing of blood. Also, the dealing with it is easier than if it is a deep and if it is arterial. In arterial blood, bleeding, you will find that it is with pulsating, the duct. Sometimes it will come out strongly and sometimes it will come less. It is according to the contraction of the heart. So in this case, we have to control the bleeding as early as possible in order to prevent the blood loss. Otherwise, the patient will go infect and he might die due to loss of the blood. So, when dealing with bleeding and when dealing with body fluid, we have to wear gloves first. If the gloves is not there, what we can do? If we didn't have gloves, I'll put it there. Oh, there is another thing. Any plastic bag we can use. Just you put your hand in any plastic bag. This is case. So you can use any plastic bag.
Especially in the hospitals, if you see any patient is bleeding, you have to wear gloves. كمان to wear gloves. First thing. أول شيء تسويه. لأن ما تعرف المريض اللي قدامكم فيه إيدز. أنا أقول لكم اتصالات الإيدز ما تنشر. قوانين. يعني الإنسان اللي قدامكم ما تعرفوا فيه الإيدز، في التهاب الكبد الوبائي، في أمراض كثيرة منتشرة.
The first thing that I have to.
خاصة إذا كان عندكم جرح. أول ما تدخل المستشفى بكرة تروحون عملي، أول ما تروحون المستشفى عارفين إن من جرحين، أول شيء تحطوا الجرح تسوي لها الإسقاط. وبعدين بدي شغلكم. شفتوا أي نزيف أو واحد يرجع أو واحد عنده مشكلة، المهم إن شيء سواء الجسم تطلع تريدوا تساعدوا المريض، أول شيء تركضوا تلبسوا قفازات الجلافز، أول شيء قبل ما تلمسوا المريض. فاهميني؟ لأن قانوننا أي واحد عنده أمراض معدية خطيرة ما نخبركم ولا يخبرونا. فاهميني؟ فتحميوا نفسكم وتحميوا مع أهاليكم. أوكي، واحد أخوه أخته ما أعرف إيش عادي. في المستشفى أول شيء تركضوا تلبسوا جلافز. فاهميني؟ حتى لو إن شاء الله تنطلع عليك من عملية. يعني أول شيء حميوا نفسكم بعدين المريض.
So we will use the piece of gauze and we will put it over the site. Then we will use bandage over the site of bleeding.
Did you see the way of holding the bandage? Did you see the way how we hold the bandage? شفتوا كيف مسكتها؟ ما انتبهتوا.
If blood is still coming, oozing of blood is there, what I have to do? Do I have to remove the previous one and start from the beginning? No. I have to put another piece of gauze over it and make the bandage tight. I have to elevate also the hand. By elevation, it will decrease the blood supply. And by that, also the control of the bleeding, it will be less. So I'm using the gravity also. If I found that the blood is still coming out, I have to press on the pressure point. Here in the hand, the artery which is supplying the hand is coming from this area. So I will press here. By pressing here, I will reduce the blood supply to the hand. By that, I will help the physiological processes with the dressing that I put to stop the bleeding. So I have to press like this. sometimes they are using tourniquet, but as a first aider, we should avoid using the tourniquet. Because using of the tourniquet, it has a long process that you have to follow. It might lead to complete cutting of blood supply. In this case, it will lead to gangrene, and instead of helping the patient, we are causing more problem to him, and we lead to gangrene. And in this case, instead of simple treatment, he might need amputation of that part. So to avoid that, we should not use the tourniquet unless we are a highly trained first aider. In this case, we are using the tourniquet. Then we will fix that bandage properly, either with a safety pin, or we can use plaster. So we are working always with the availability. Even we can put it under. Then I have to check the circulation. Can you move your hand, your fingers, so he can move his fingers? Did you feel any numbness?
No.
So he didn't feel any numbness. And also I will check the color of the nail. It is good, it is pink. And I can check the distal pulse. Here I can check the radial pulse. Also the radial pulse is there, so no problem. Okay? So the thing that I have to concentrate on is to cover the wound with a clean piece of gauze, or the available thing. It might be also a cloth. That we will work with a clean thing, the available thing that we have at home. Then I will press over it, use the bandage. If blood is still coming, I will use another piece of gauze, also bind it again. If still the blood is coming, I have to elevate it. Blood is still coming, with a compression and elevation, I have to press on the point or pressure point, which is the artery. So the artery in the hand, it is coming from this area, so I have to press over it until the bleeding stops. Then I have to transfer him to the hospital. Okay?
Especially if the patient is taking medication which will prevent clotting.
Yes.
Especially those, it is very dangerous. The patient will die if you don't go.
Yes, sometimes
Directly to hospital.
they are taking anticoagulant, or they might have blood disorder, bleeding disorder.
Yes.
Yeah, like hemophilia. So bleeding tendency will be more. In bleeding also we have a common type of bleeding, which is epistaxis. Do you know what's epistaxis? Epistaxis. Ru'af. Did anyone of you got epistaxis before?
No.
Huh? You have it? You are having?
Yes.
Right. What's the problem that you had? What they told you?
We have اسمه رعب.
Uh,
لو the your hand
لا شو خبروك السبب؟ ولا ما؟
قالوا لي نعرف الشعيرات.
لا.
بالحر يمكن أكثر. بالحر.
الحار كله أول ما انفر مريت.
أيوة لكن بالحر أكثر.
About epistaxis, there are many causes of epistaxis. In small children, sometimes because they are sometimes inserting pen or inserting their finger sometimes in their nostrils. They are playing with that. And sometimes it is strange to have those, like, sometimes they are putting sometimes like bee, like once we got a small kid who was inserting, the remote, the battery for the remote. He was inserting it inside his nose. Sometimes it is a funny thing, but it's happened. Sometimes it might be a competition between those kids. Who can insert this inside his nose and remove it? So they might try something which is, we think that it is silly, but it's happened. So that might be, those injuries might be due to those things in children. Or it might be due to recurrent inflammation of the nose. The capillaries in the nose, it is a thin capillaries. And the tissue